they are, indeed. And that's largely why so many of us think of this as such an appealing place. It's the students who are the anchor here and who are the magnet. And especially this year when they knew how to make an old guy happy with the Professor Award. And it was a great and wonderful surprise. The students are also remarkable by virtue of being amazingly tolerant. You know, cutting us a lot of slack. Me especially, I think, because in times of emergency, during lectures, when I had absolutely run out of things to say, my habit was to use examples from things I had covered in my old newspaper and news magazine days, right? The Harlem riots of 1964. The draft card burners of 1966. Right? The Summer of Love children in 1967. H. Rap Brown. And I could see as I would reel off these names and look out over the class, which the class in CNS was so big it had to be given in this room. So there were a lot of students out there, and I'd see them searching into the left sphere of their brain, you know, trying to figure out, was this something they should know about? And then resolving it into, what the fuck is he trying to do? I'd show them a photograph in my office of that I took when I was a student here of John F. Kennedy, when I was sent out to cover his arrival at Idlewild for the, I think it was the Alfred Smith dinner at the Waldorf, the annual Al Smith dinner at the Waldorf. And then if I did the math correctly, I started thinking this would have been the same thing if when I was here in 1961, 62, some old professor had brought me into his office and asked me to marvel over a shot he'd taken of Woodrow Wilson back in 1916, maybe with a flash gun. What the hell is he thinking? So, as I've been saying to myself of late, it's time to go. For that reason, but also before it gets too late, right? And you get too decrepit. So you can't put out the energy, you know, magazine pieces take energy, so do books, and I didn't want to let it all run out. I came here 47 years ago, as Sri was pointed out to you. I can no longer deny it. And the J School has really, ever since, been my home. It was Penn Kimball, who was my mentor here, who got me in. It was not an easy feat, even for a friend of the family back in New Britain, Connecticut. He was confronted by a 22-year-old applicant who came from the bottom 25% of his college class. I went to Hamilton College, otherwise known as the Harvard of the Oriskany Valley. I was also on social probation to boot. And did I mention that I was also stupid enough to have the Dean of Students, to ask the Dean of Students to write me my main recommendation. I also, the applicant also couldn't talk. He had such a debilitating stammer that he couldn't get out his name, much less ask any reasonable journalistic question of anybody. So Kimball said, well, let's see what we can do here. He said, if I could take some time off and somehow lessen my incapacity, one, if I could get a job on a daily newspaper and have that editor write him after a year that I was worthy of being admitted to the Columbia Journalism School, he would see what he could do. Well, a year went by, a year and a half went by, I think 2 years went by. I won't go into everything that happened in those 2 years, but I did it, and I arrived here. On graduation day, when the awards came around, I was given the Silurian Prize for the best reporter in the class. Now, I don't say that boastfully. I say that to make a point about what the school has done for me and my life, and to acknowledge my great debt, and also to tell you, all of you, how much you have honored me to be here tonight. Thank you.
Folks, there's still some alcohol. Folks, we still have the room for a little bit longer. Please have a drink, have some food, say goodbye to Bruce. Thank you, everybody.
Well, we have a house at Beverly Farms because our daughter's in school. Yes, no, we're fine.